What's up, guys? I was walking through my local pawn shop the other day where I buy several of my firearms at, and I seen a little gun laying in the cabinet that I had never seen before. And I thought, that's kind of neat, kind of cool. I'd kind of like to have that. So the owner wasn't there, so since it was a used gun, sometimes they'll do a little better on the pricing than what they have it marked at. So I went back the next day and asked them what they would take for it, and this may be one of the pawn shop finds of the year. And what am I talking about? It is a Beretta Mini Cougar. It's a Model 8000 Cougar D Mini Cougar. It's a long name, but it does have a rotating barrel. If you look at this right here, I do want to show you this. It's kind of cool. If we pull this back, you can see that barrel rotate. That's how it locks. It's not like the Browning design where the barrel kicks up. This actually locks with a rotating barrel. I have oiled this gun and cleaned it. It is stupid smooth. Now, they do make these with a little bit longer grip, but I'm assuming this is for the concealed carry person in your life. So it only comes with 10 round magazines. I do want to say that grip is pretty small. I cannot even close get my pinky on it. Now, they used to make magazine extensions for these. I'm having a hard time finding them now, but that would make life a little bit easier. I've not fired this gun yet, but as you can see here, it has a bobbed hammer and it is double action only. When it cycles, it just goes back to double action mode. I don't know if you heard that. It threw me off there for a minute. I was like, is it double action only? It is. Now listen to this. When you rack it, there's a click right there, but when it clicks, it does nothing. You have to take it all the way back out to there. This thing has the longest reset in the history of firearms. I mean, this reset is forever. But any Beretta is a cool little pistol, and I'd never seen one like this with a bobbed hammer. It reminds me of like the 92 series of pistols, but with an internal barrel instead of the external barrel. And it just really piqued my interest. Now, I told you all I picked it up for like $380. I think it was like 400 and some, and it come down to 380, and I picked it up. And I had no clue what these guns are worth. I meant to look it up not before. I totally forgot to look it up. So I went and looked it up, and I found two on Gunbroker. Now, they hadn't sold. They hadn't had any bids on them. So it's hard to tell what the gun is valued at. But I will say this. The starting bids of the guns that were on Gunbroker that were identical to this was over $1,000. I think one was like $1,050 and one was like $1,025 or $75. It was over $1,000 for both of them. Now, both of those have since been taken down because I went back to look at them again to make sure I seen that right, and they weren't on there. And I've not looked back at Gunbroker since to see anything like this, but they were over $1,000, and I got this for $380 plus tax out the door. So this very well may be the pawn shop find of the decade, maybe. I'm sure somebody out there has done better, but for me, it's a really good buy. And let me tell you why. Hang on just a second. Not only did I get the gun with 3 magazines, don't know if these work or not, never fired it, but it came with a Galco holster. Galco holsters are like $130 or $40 by themselves. Not only was the gun, a good deal, and I would have bought it either way because I had no clue what the gun was worth, so I just liked how it looked and thought it'd be a cool video to do on here, but it came with a Galco holster and 3 magazines. I'm sure it come with 2 magazines with the gun, but there was a 3rd magazine that was through in, and I don't even know what make this magazine is. It's not a factory magazine, but we'll see if all these work because I brought them all. I was just curious if they all worked. The springs in the factory magazines seemed a little weak, so I wanted to make sure I brought all 3 of them to make sure there was no malfunctions. Now, will I carry this gun? Probably not. It's heavy. I can't get a full grip on it. It's fat, but I just thought it was cool. And sometimes it's all right just to buy cool stuff. Thank goodness my wife believes that too, because half the crap I own is just cool stuff. All right, guys, I got a little anxious to shoot it, and I haven't shot it yet, but I threw on my ear pro. I was like, there's some things I need to go over first. Nothing's ambidextrous. Nothing on this gun is ambidextrous, but it does have night sights. It does come with night sights, but nothing is ambidextrous. Everything is on the right side of the gun, and nothing's on the wrong side of the gun for you lefties out there. I do want to say this. this gun is a little bit different to take apart. There is a block down here in the bottom, and I'll try to show this here in a minute once I shoot it, because I'm really anxious to shoot it. But there's a block down here in the bottom, and it doesn't really lock in, and you kind of got to hold it upside down to put it back. It's just awkward. It's not like a Glock or a SIG or an FN or anything like that. It is just different. But this is an older gun. They don't make this no more. It was made like in the early 2000s, so you can kind of forgive it for that. Glock probably still had their patent back then. Everybody wasn't copying it. But I do want to show you the trigger on this. It is unloaded. Man, that thing is smooth. But let's just look at the trigger before we shoot it. If I didn't tell you, it does have night sights. So that's a good thing. I like night sights. But I will say this, they're about dead. The night sights are about out. So take it for what you will. All right, so trigger pull, long trigger pull. You hit that wall almost immediately. Long trigger pull or tension instead of wall. And then it breaks right there. All right, reset it. Now listen close, you'll hear that little click. And if you look right here, I believe you can see this little thing right there, click back. Actually, it's on this side of the gun. Let me turn around. I was like, where's that at? So if we start resetting it, you can feel that thing click right there. So let me show you this side so you can actually see my finger. But that's what clicks back in place. I don't know if they all do that. This is the only one I've ever had. But long reset. There's that little click. It does nothing. Literally all the way back out to where the trigger begins is where the reset's at. That's going to be annoying. But I didn't buy the gun for annoying. I bought it for fun, and I didn't buy it to carry, so who cares about the reset? Let's shoot it some. Let's see if all these magazines work. They go in easy, I'll tell you that. The chambered. Well, that magazine worked perfectly. I think that was the one that was not the factory magazine, and the factory magazines are the ones I was a little worried about because the springs seemed a little weak. I took them apart and cleaned them. This thing had some weird oil that stunk on it, and it was the oil that was in the box because it did come with the box as well. And I threw that oil away because it was horrible. It was stinking up the house. So I threw that away. Recoil, it was a little bit snappy because you can't get your finger on it. So the recoil was a little snappy. Just looking down range, accuracy is pretty decent for this little gun, but recoil is a little snappy, mainly because you can't get your hand on it full grip. I think if you had the longer version of this, which I kind of wish this one was, which this is more unique probably because it has the shorter grip, but it ain't something I'm going to carry, so I'd like something a little more comfortable to shoot. But I really like this little gun. I like how it looks. I'm a Beretta fan. I'm a Beretta fan. All right, 2 for 2. So let's get 3 for 3. Now, one thing I do want to show you, it's a little bit hard because the gun is so small to hit that magazine release. That's another thing. I know I'm giving this gun a lot of negatives, but truly, I just like how it looked. I thought it was cool. I wanted to add it to my collection. So it has some negatives. So it still, when it gets hot, has that nasty oil smell. I like it. Not the oil smell of the gun. All right, guys, 3 for 3. You can't ask no better than that. The gun was a good value. It does stink. Hopefully that'll wear off. But it's a good value. I think I got a really good deal on it, especially with the Galco holster, and all 3 magazines function flawlessly. And I got the box. So I don't think it had the owner's manual in it. That's the only thing is missing. But look how cool this gun looks. I want to test the accuracy. Just looking at that shoot and see that was up there from the other videos. looks like it's going to be pretty decent. So let's throw 5 rounds in it, throw another shoot and see up, check the accuracy on it, and I think we'll actually push this thing out to 40 yards. I mean, it's a little gun. I mean, it's a little gun, but I think it'll do good at 40 yards. I really do. Let's find out. All right, guys, 5 rounds, 10 yards. You know the drill. Blazer brass, 124 grain. See how we do. All right, so we're a little low. That trigger may be a little bit different because I'm not really used to the double action pull. 2 shots right here, one there, one there, one there. So I'm gonna throw up another one. Actually, I may just use that one and see if I can slow down just a little bit and see if we can pull that up. Y'all remember where them 4 shots are, so I won't have to tell you, but let's do this one more time. All right, guys, take 2. Let's see if we can do any better. Try to really focus on that trigger pull. See if we can get it up a little bit higher. I took it too high. But then I brought it back down. So I got focusing too much. First 2 shots are up here, 1, 2, and then I think it was this one was the 3rd one. But we got 2 right here. So I think with a little practice with that gun, we could actually get really good accuracy with it. I'm actually doing better than I did with that SIG 227 that I reviewed earlier. So I think we could actually do really good with it once we got used to the trigger. I mean, I put 40 rounds through the gun, so I'm definitely not used to that trigger, but there at the end, I think as smooth as that trigger is, we could probably really hone that in and get some pretty good accuracy out of it. Well, let's do it one more time. I got a little bit better accuracy. One more time for the road. All right, guys, 3rd time's a charm. Last time we're doing this and we're back up to 40 yards, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, let's see what we got. Should have quit while I was ahead, but that's not what we do on this channel. If I do horribly, we still show you. So first shot was up here, and then for some odd reason, I started walking down. I hit a bullseye, and I thought, I've got this, and I got cocky, and we missed them all. It is what it is. I still think with a little bit of practice, that gun could be pretty good. The first shot, I still hit high like I did before. I guess I just really focused on the trigger too much. Then I kind of calmed down, hit the next one, and I got cocky, and it got quicksand after that and really went under. But 10 rounds are loaded up, back up to 40 yards. See what we got on this steel plate, then we'll finish this video up. All right, guys, we're back out at 40 yards, just same Blazer brass ammo. Let's see how we're doing here, and then we'll go back up there and give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, I told you I thought this gun had some pretty decent accuracy. Now, I'll show you that we're at 40 yards just so you believe me. There it is. Target's way down there. So it's just the way I do all my reviews and all my testing, and very seldom do I bring a, just iron sight pistol out here and hit 10 out of 10. I'm used to shooting with dots, and dots are kind of like cheating, and once you get used to that, I mean, I have the fundamentals to use irons, but I'm used to, like I said, dots. So it is a little bit of a difference transitioning back to iron sights. but when you pull a pistol that you've got probably 50, 55 rounds through, and then you know, hit 10 out of 10 at 40 yards, that says a lot for the gun. And again, I honestly believe that if we practice with this a little bit more, that accuracy that I was getting kind of sporadic up there would I think it would tighten down a lot. But you can see at 40 yards, you can definitely make hits on smaller than a man-sized silhouette. All right, guys, so what do I think about this little Beretta Mini Cougar? I've got 60 rounds through it, and I think it is a phenomenal little pistol. No hiccups. Now, this gun is used. I don't know how the break-in period was. This gun may have 200 rounds through it. It may have 100 rounds through it. It may have 10,000 rounds through it. I don't know. So I don't know what the break-in period is on these or how they shoot straight out of the box. You can't buy them new anymore, so that's probably not a huge concern to you either, because they're all going to be used, and the break-in period is probably already going to be done on them. You may be able to find a new one that somebody's bought and threw in the drawer for collection purposes or something, but that's probably going to be very few and far between for a pistol like this. But you've seen at 40 yards, this thing was just dinging that plate every time I pulled the trigger. So, you know, there again, I think the accuracy's there. I think if I put, you know, few hundred rounds through this, I could really be accurate with this. But there again, I didn't really buy this gun to put a ton of rounds through. I bought this gun because I thought it was cool. And there again, let's go back to it. Sometimes cool is a good enough reason to purchase something. And if you think something's cool and you want to spend your money on it, by all means, do so. It's your money. Spend on whatever you want to, just like I could a Mini Cougar. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Was this a great pawn shop find? There again, the gun broker prices didn't have any bids on them, so they may have been overinflated. I don't know. The recoil of this little gun was very minimal. I mean, it had some snap to it, but the weight of it did help keep that down. The main reason the snap is felt is because you can't get your pinky on it. If this was a longer gripped version of this gun, it would be very, very manageable. I think it would be very pointable, because even the small grip version is pointable. And I think it would be an awesome home defense gun, an amazing home defense gun, except it don't have a rail. No rail. Wah, wah. It is what it is. Back then, some guns didn't have rails. But I still think it would be a good home defense gun if you wanted to pair it with something, maybe not an Olight Artfeld, but some kind of tactical light where you could, you know, get up here, maybe cigar it, whatever you want to do, whatever you're into on that. You could do that, and I still think the longer grip version would be a great home defense gun, because you can see you can actually make hits with it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Great find or not a great find? Would you have bought it? Would you not have bought it? I liked it, I bought it, and I guess that's all that matters on this end of the camera. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.